stay because you're on our next panel anyway, so you might as well stay. So thank you so much to Kevin and Venkat as well. While you're taking your photograph, I'll introduce our next speakers. So how can we ethically use marketing tactics to build a better world? Well, in the next session, it's a panel discussion on the ethical marketer and how to use manipulation for good. And it'll help you find the answer to this question. We've got a brilliant panel. Nikita's staying there. He's on the panel. But our moderator for the panel is going to be Harshal Patil. He's the CEO and founder at B2B Venture Group. Welcome, Harshal. Nice to see you again, as always. And we'll also welcome our other panelists, Puja Damani, Client Services Manager at, I can read my paper, Inboundsys Webgalaxy. Please welcome Puja to the stage. And also Ellza Malok, founder of the Blue Monarch Group. Please give all our panelists a nice round of applause, and your microphone should be there and all on. And Harshal, I shall hand over to you to moderate this session.
So let me just set up a quick introduction. Nikki, actually, by the way, he's the author of 3 best-selling books out there. Give him a round of applause for this.
Yay! Thank you.
And he's the CEO of Reputation House.
Reputation House.
Yes. Ellza is the founder of Blue Monarch, and you're from Chicago, United States.
That's correct. And sorry, it's me not being able to read my sheet properly. Denice Lau, founder and CEO of Passion Fruit Marketing Collaboration. Denice, if you'd like to come up as well. Apologies, it's me not seeing for looking.
So we have Puja. So she's looking into the client success at Inboundsys, and she's from Pune. Then we have Denice, and she's the CEO of Passion Fruit, and of course, she's a singer and songwriter out there from Philippines. Yeah. So I think I want Ima to be at ease about the timing, so that we all will be very crisp during this session. And I think the topic is the ethical marketer and how we are going to use the manipulation for good. So let me just set the context. So we will have 6 questions for this panel, and everyone will have 3 minutes for this, so that we all will get different perspectives from different geos out there. So let me start off with this quote. Actually, the best way to manipulate a man is to make him think that he's manipulating you. So, but the basic fundamental of marketing is manipulation, guys. So I think in Darwinism's language, brands are the units of selection, and brands have, brands thrive in the free market because they have many purposes out there. And without the brands, we have no means by which we reward a good service or the purchase. So for example, a brand's reputation gives you enough trust and faith, and supplier can confidently buy it if there is a right reputation about the brand out there. So while driving these brands, I know a lot of the most successful entrepreneurs who are using, manipulation very consciously. And they are very much aware about how they are using the manipulation in their marketing tactics out there. And they don't feel guilty about doing it, correct? And neither should you. So if the manipulation is done in a correct way, there is certainly a positive impact overall on the business out there. So there is a thin line between the manipulation and the influence out there. So, it is sometimes very clear whether, salespeople are simply opening up their sales psychology bag of tricks to convince the client, or whether they are honestly and fairly, putting their perspectives with the actual needs of the potential customer. I was just doing a search last night that number one marketing agency in Dubai, and I got 23 companies. How can 23 companies could be a number one? So my first question to you guys is, how do you ethically use manipulation in marketing? And where do you find the balance to use the manipulation and the reality? Maybe we'll start off with you.
I was very surprised that I'm invited in this section. Nikita, you delete information, you will take part in ethical section. So, guys, I would like to start with one very interesting question. Yes, we are going to discuss ethics for 46 minutes already. Okay, please raise your hand. Who is ethical person? Come on. Higher. Tap your hands, tell to yourself, I'm cool, I'm very ethical. So, I suppose that some of you hasn't raised your hand. Not ethical, guys, right? Okay, what is ethic? Ethic, it's like a context. We all suppose that we are ethical guys, but we don't know what is ethic. Do you know the word ethic? I will tell you one story. Many, many years ago, one European king provided his team with special checklists. In this checklist contained information. When you meet other king, when you welcome special guests, you should do this and this and this. And these were the first etiquette in the world. So etiquette. For all of us, ethic, it is a kind of informal rules. So how can we use these rules now in marketing? First of all, how do I use ethic in my in my business? Think about your clients. Are they sure that you are ethical? And think about your business. What is the reputation of your business? Is your reputation good or is your reputation bad? I suppose that any kind of marketing is very ethical because we have to promote our business. We have to support PR of our business because we all, at least we are trying to create cool services and to create a great goods, and we have to promote them. It is very ethical because someday we will face another marketer who has low quality services and he promotes his business, and his low quality services will damage our clients. That is why in any way, every day, we should use all kind of marketing to promote our service goods. That is why I suppose that any kind of marketing is very ethical because we make livings of our clients better. That's my answer.
Great, thank you. Maybe Ellza, would love to hear your perspective.
I think that the key to ethical marketing is making sure that the brand has value. And if you truly believe that that brand is bringing value to their customers, then your tactics really follow the same line of thought. It's basically not over-promising and under-delivering into that type of process. My brand does a lot of psychology marketing where we have to tap into consumer information and how do we change perception and manipulate mindsets. But it's within the context of the idea that this is going to help a company or a consumer by purchasing this product. So that's how I back into whether or not what we're doing is ethical. Obviously, there are things like, market manipulation, other pieces that you don't want to get into. But if your brand really actually does what it says it's supposed to do, you should be in a good path, so to speak.
Okay, I totally agree with Harshal when he says that manipulation is actually an integral part of our marketing strategies, okay? But there are certain ethics that you need to follow in that, so I like to list it in points. The first being, try and be as relevant as possible. When you're pitching to the client, don't brag about your features and functions that the product can offer. Talk about the client's perspective. What are the solutions that the client is looking for? What are the pain points that he wants to be addressed? So when you're talking from the point of view of the client, he will be more interested in you. Secondly, I would say is try being omnipresent. The concept that big brands are continuously running campaigns and advertising is that they want to be in the forefront of the minds of the audience. So when you are in the forefront, purchases don't happen over time. Exactly, I'm sure everybody relates to that. So when the client feels the need, the desire for a particular product, it's your brand that will spring up in its mind, and it's your brand that will be the first choice. And that's what big brands are doing nowadays. The third, I would say, is build that trust. Okay, as a marketer, your first duty is to build that trust with your audience, and that you can do by giving them certain informations that they want to hear and communicate with them in the way that they want to be communicated. The fourth I would address here is emotional and psychological appeal. Well, do not exploit the emotions, but you can ethically use that emotions to connect your brand with the audience. So when you connect emotionally, there are sentiments that get attached, and as a result of which customer loyalty follows. So you see, now for me, for example, I'm a consumer of Colgate, the toothpaste that I've been using since ages, and whenever I think of a toothpaste, the first brand that springs up in my mind is Colgate. Another point that I would like to make here is marketers use these tactics that target FOMO, that is the fear of missing out. And that is a good tactic that you can use, but never overdo it. So for that, you need to keep certain points in mind that whatever statements you're making are not false. You're not making something that you're not ethically doing. Secondly, don't overdo FOMO. Because, oh, clients will understand, fine, this offer ends, there'll be another offer that's going to come our way. And third point in FOMO that you need to remember is, don't create that false sense of urgency or scarcity. To give you an example, supposing you're a marketer who is selling properties and you claim that 90% of my property is sold out. What happens? Your prospective buyers are interested in that property now. They would be feeling that sense of urgency, that scarcity, and quick purchase happen. But when you're claiming 90%, be true to that. Don't just say that you made 10%, but you're claiming 90%. And last point that I would like to put over here is sometimes brands try to associate success in order to create that desire. Now, to give you an example in context of footwear in sports, like Nike, Reebok, etc. What do? They endorse your products with bringing in celebrities. Celebrities are who? Those are athletes. Okay, so these athletes are the ones who actually perform. And how do they perform? They actually consume those products. They actually wear Nike shoes, Reebok shoes. So align your product with the celebrities. Don't just make false claims, and don't create false association between a product and a desire. Be as natural, as transparent, and as authentic as possible. Thank you.
So much. Yeah. Hi everyone, I'm Denice. As Harshal was able to mention earlier, I'm a singer-songwriter. And the name of my company is Passion Fruit Marketing Collaborations. We are actually a creative content agency. We're a marketing agency and we make creative content. We think of the different ways we could reach people, the messages of the people. And the reason why I actually chose to be in this panel today is because I want to discuss the power of art. Who here loves art? Can you guys raise your hands? Who here has ever been moved by art? You felt less alone, you felt less tired, you felt happier because of art. And when we talk about manipulation, we talk about drawing out emotion. And from that emotion, it's so powerful that we can draw out more action. Sometimes that action could be purchasing, could be following, could be changing the way we live. And I think art and manipulation goes hand in hand. And how does this relate to marketing? In Passion Fruit, we call marketing business art. We use art to get to our business objectives. And sometimes we misconstrue the concept of manipulation because we feel like it's deception, when in fact it's just really showing a part of a piece of a whole thing. Our consumers know that there are a million facts to everything, like an apple grows from a tree, it's color red, it is healthy, it could change your lives, it could be vinegar, for all we know, right? And it's up to us as marketers, as messengers of the stories, to decide which of that apple do we show today. And how do we use that, and which action are we taking? And so when we go back to ethics, it's also the belief that art could change things. And art creates future realities. And so when we do campaigns for our company, we do not just ask, would the customers be happy? Would this sell? Would this trend? We would ask, how does this contribute to society 5 to 10 years from now? Is this the future I want for my kids? Is this the world where I want to stand in? Remember, when you look at history books, there's always an ad that shows what the times were like back then. And that ad
would show the future realities 5 years into the future. So if an ad shows that girls are inferior, then girls will be inferior for the next 5 to 10 years. And as marketers, are we asking ourselves, is it something that we're willing to be accountable for? Is that the reality we want to create? Because while a lot of people think that, you know, marketing is just business, marketing is deception, marketing is, you know, selling, marketing is art. Marketing is even more everywhere than anything else that we see. We see the same message on billboards, on our phones. We see it here. We have logos over here. We have it outside. Go around Dubai, you see every single ad, and it speaks one message. And is that message you? If you see an ad out there, and it's made by you, is that the reality you want to live in, right? And as marketers, are we asking our clients these questions? Because manipulation, when done right, could create better realities. And better realities when we make great demands, when we introduce better lifestyles, a more productive world, happier lives, and our brand is the center of that positive change, then that's the time we could really take pride in our work, right? And that's one of the standards that we have when we choose our clients, when we pitch campaigns. What realities are we making? And are we excited, and are we happy to be part of that history to make change? So for us, at least, that's the reason why I actually started my company, because I wanted to have a say on the future of the world I live in. Because I understand the power that I do. I'm sure all of you are confident here with your own skills, right? And if you know how good you are, you know that you could change things. And that's equally dangerous. And that's where ethics comes in, so yeah.
Thank you guys. So I think, recently I have been to one summit, and that summit was about the green energy and sustainability. Surprisingly, entire day we spoke about how we can, save the environment. And surprisingly, on each table there were the plastic bottles out there. So I think one of the key things that I want to talk about here is, when we are marketer, as a marketer, I think our core values versus what messaging we are giving, both needs to match out there, because there are several ways to use this manipulation through a consumer psychology, as Puja mentioned, and we need to ethically, legally, and respectfully attract and engage our customers. So we are marketers, we are not the spammers out there, and that's where we need to be very cautious of doing a reputation of this marketing term, because I recently read one survey where if the email is coming out from the VP of marketing, CEO will literally spam it without reading it. So I think in order to protect it, I think we really need to have some of the best practices that we need to play. So my quick question to you is, in your day-to-day life, being a marketer, what are the best practices that you have put in a play actually? So if you can give maybe one example, it will be a good help.
Oh, okay, I can start. I have more than 200 employees in more than 6 countries, and sometimes it's a very complicated task to face and to find unethical client and to refuse him with our work. But sometimes it is very interesting to understand in reality, is this client really unethical? And do we do a really ethical work? First of all, what is reality and what is real? If we believe in something, then it is real. If we don't believe in something, then it is unreal. So if clients don't believe in us, if clients don't believe that our quality is cool, then our quality and our whole business is unreal. So first of all, you should believe that your quality and your business is real. Please pay attention to it. Maybe you don't even believe to your business. And speaking about clients, I have created my own system of reporting, and every week I check a list of all new leads, of all new potential clients. And if I see something strange in this list, I really spend my time. I check website of this lead. I check social network of this lead. And I check sometimes even interviews of person, if I suppose that maybe it's something weird, maybe it's something bad. Sometimes it's much better, and in future it will be much cheaper for you to refuse in work and refuse in cooperation with this client, because this way you will save your own reputation. Because in my reality, my business is very ethical and good. Yep.
From my perspective, I really take the approach of understanding what the client really wants and what is their intention with that particular item. Because being a psychology marketing agency, there are plenty of ways that we could manipulate the market, whether you think that's a good connotation or a bad one. And I have to be very careful about the clients that I take on in order to make sure that, you know, a pharmaceutical company is actually going to do good in introducing another insulin option, or a tech company that wants to change the way people build wealth. Those are the things that I look for. It's, you know, there are business related pieces like how much revenue do they have, where do they want to be in 5 years, but then I also look at who is on the board of this executive team. What do they actually want to do? Are they going to be the next Martin Shkreli's of the world, or are they going to be, you know, in the place of good? And those are some of the more emotional things that I look for in a brand, and make sure that I bring in a client, because the worst thing that, from my perspective, could happen is I bring on a client and they use the tactics that we have for the not so great parts of marketing, where we get a really bad reputation in those spaces. The other part of that I look into is, what are the strategies that I can ethically implement in order to get that brand into the space that they want to be? Because we have a lot of neuroscience research, we do try to shift perception for certain brands if they've gone through some critical downturns or pieces that they want to impact. And we have to kind of say, is that perception really authentic? Is there a change that we have to make internally, a marketing campaign that we have to do internally into the company before we do it externally? Because you can't have that facade. Buyers are intelligent. You can't really just say, oh, we're this great company that has awesome culture and we sell this and this product or service, and then you go back into the client experience team or the operations, and then you see the mess that is kind of back there. So more often than not, we take the kind of inside-out approach to helping and making sure that the mantra that the organization or company is living by matches what we hold ourselves to, the values that we created at Blue.
Okay, first of all, how a product is sold can be manipulated. But its sustainability totally depends upon whether it's able to deliver what it promises of, what it boasts of. So to answer Harshal's question about what are the ethics, what are the practices that you can put into place, I would again take it point-wise. I have 4 points here. The first one being, try being as transparent as possible. Today's consumers are very intelligent. They want to know everything. They want to know how your product is produced, where it's produced, what are the resources, what are the materials you're using. So the more the business or the brand is transparent about it, the more impact it will have on the consumer's purchasing power. Secondly, I would say is take precautions with respect to customers' data and privacy. That's one of the biggest concerns that has been raised now, because consumers are anxious and concerned how their data is being used. So as a marketer, you're obliged, you're responsible to make sure that there is no data, you need to take care of the data privacy and security. The third point I would say here is, treat your audience as humans. So communicate them in the way that they would like to be communicated. Give them that respect, that dignity that they deserve. Don't just treat them as people whom you are pitching to sell your products. So understand their concerns, understand their point of view. And the last point that I would say over here is, try to associate your brand with some causes. Because consumers today take pride in being associated with a brand or a business that are giving back to the society. Yes, earning profits of a business is the primary goal. But when you are involved in activities where you are giving back to the society, concerned about the environmental changes, you're using natural products, you're making your packaging totally 100% recyclable, no test on animals. But if you're making such claims, make sure that you have the proper validations and license. And if you are doing it, it's a great cause, because as a business, we are equally responsible in giving back to the society. So, and there are top companies who are actually involved in philanthropic work, environmental change work. So to name a few from India, I would say we have Infosys, Tata, who actually are working on these lines. So as a business, we do have moral and social responsibilities. And when you do that, your business actually develops, actually scales, because your customers become your brand ambassadors.
So I would like to say that I agree to with all of you. Those are very, very specific tactical ways of making sure that what we're doing is ethical. So maybe on my end, what I'd like to add that with what we do in my company is we look at the brand's best voice. So what is the strength of the brand that you're handling? In our case, we handle a lot of social media accounts. Some have 1 million followers, others have a few hundreds of thousands, but they get like, what, 5,000 likes per post? And so you know you're making impact by just merely posting anything. And you have to be very cautious about what you say. And so ask yourself, if you had that much followers on your own page, like your name page, and you could say something good, you could share a good message, you could, influence people to do better, would you not take it? And sometimes we fail to see that the responsibilities we have, what we're paid for to do, is sometimes we're equally paid to do good. These brands that we're handling, for example, on a day-to-day basis, we sometimes have to share news. Is it time to share more uplifting news to elevate society? Is it time to give, specify a post for an artist to be featured? Because, some of our artists need recognition. Is it time to remind people to drink their water? And these small things, we have a voice as marketers to amplify the best messages that our brands could offer. And I think that's one of the things we always factor in when we make our content pillars, when we make our pitches to our clients. What is your sales objective? Okay, let's post the products. Okay, how do you want it shared? Okay, we'll listen to you. However, we always include how does it help society? How could you take part in a better message that everyone could echo, that everyone could share? And that's something we always study. We factor it in. So if it's a lifestyle brand or an estate brand, we look at the best corners to inspire people. If it's a supplement or if it's food, what's the best part of it? Or if it's a show, a podcast, what are the best quotes and messages that people could learn from? And so I think that's one of the things that we could also maximize as marketers, looking at it ethically beyond partnering with orgs that are equally great. Sometimes we should just really use the nicer voice in some of the communication platforms that we have so that people could connect more with your brands.
Absolutely. So let me just spice up the environment a bit over here with the one controversial question that I want to ask. So I'll not name the person, but in the US there are a lot of shady operators out there who are manipulating the markets with the manipulation tactics. So my question is, if an influential person or an influence were to tweet about a stock resulting in a significant price change, would that be considered as ethical manipulation?
Can I start?
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, I suppose that it is not manipulation. Yes, maybe he manipulates, but is it really manipulation? If we have mentioned reality, reality is something in what we believe. If you believe to this person, he is real for you. But guys, think about your social network. Why do you have the social network? I suppose that almost all here have at least Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook. If you have at least one social network, please raise your hand. Really, it's important. Okay, almost all of you have at least one social network. Because if there is a person who don't have social network, now he looks at our moderator, what is he talking about? But now please answer to yourself, why do you follow influencers? Not because they provide us with stock forecasts and stuff like that. We follow them because they create a kind of reality show for us. They show their life, they show their forecasts, they show their ideas about pricing in future. It is still reality show. So if you are going to attract much more subscribers, create reality show to your subscribers. And we hope that these people will still add some more information about pricing forecasts in future. Maybe it is a manipulation, yes, but it is very cool manipulation because we believe to these people and we thank them even if this forecast won't work, will never work. First of all, social network. Of course, it is the main channel of manipulation, especially from influencers. But there is a second continent, second channel of manipulation. It's Google, Yahoo, and all other search engines. We all try to find reviews, how many stars on Booking, how many stars on Google Maps. But have you ever thought, are these ratings real? Who created these ratings? It is still manipulation. And you say, oh, this guy, influencer, he's manipulator. And Google Maps, it's something bright, it's something brilliant. It will always be very accurate. So always remember, two channels of manipulation, social network and search engine result pages. Why I'm talking about search engine result pages? Because this channel of manipulation works much better than social network. Because we all know that they're influencers, they're manipulators, and Google, it's something brilliant. Speaking about an artist who has deleted all the results, I see that there were several guys, what she's talking about? Artist, why has he erased or damaged? I don't understand what he has done, but they will open Google and they will put an inquiry, all these colleagues. Artist has destroyed his paintings, right? Or, are you sure that you will find real results? What is reality? Maybe he hasn't destroyed, maybe he has hidden it somewhere. So please pay attention today. For example, if I put in Google search inquiry, for example, name of our moderator or name of our colleague, what will I find? Will it be manipulation? Maybe they don't do anything with their search engine result pages. Maybe they use SERM, search engine reputation management. It's the main part of online reputation. And search engine result management, it is about suppressing all bad information out of top 10 results and promoting positive information to top 10 results. Will it be reality? Yes, it will be real information, real good information. Will it be manipulation? Yes, but people will believe in Google results much better than to search engine. That is why, if I will ever be a stock market influencer, I will pay attention not to Twitter. I will fill Google with good forecasts and will sell it. Yep.
The reason why I'm asking this question is I think the Bitcoin was one of the biggest manipulation that we have ever seen so far. 3 years back, one guy tweeted, people started buying Bitcoins at a heavy margins. And today you see the real condition out there. So maybe, I don't know whether it was maybe the government regulations or whether that tweet have made people buy Bitcoin. But I think, yes, I think as you said, the influencer people are, ensuring that people monies goes to a toss, for sure.
I think we all have to kind of come to the reality that everything is hackable. Reality is hackable. Your mindset is hackable. Whether that means you saw a picture and it sparked something in you, or you walked past a bakery and then you remembered your grandma's house when you were making cookies with her. All of those things are a form of manipulation. Now, there are some that, through good intentions or bad ones, use that form of hype as a reputation builder. And this is where you get into the problem where you don't have enough evidence to back that type of investment or that type of product. And to Nikita's point, if you can hack the search engine, you can probably hack the evidence as well. So you really have to do your due diligence and research and figure out if that is best for your business or best for the consumer. Because we all fall into this hype of, oh my God, did you see what so-and-so did? We should all jump on that bandwagon. But my personal take is if everybody's doing it, it's probably oversaturated at that point. If everybody in the world has heard about something, it's probably saturated at that point. It's why social media results, even ads and organic, are generating less and less results year over year. It's why in 3 weeks now you can manipulate SEO versus what it used to take before because algorithms are shifting. Those are the things that you just have to kind of take a step back and say, what is actually going on and how are things shifting? And is there a pattern? And more often than not, there usually is. With a lot of brands that are looking to get rich quick or whatever scheme they're playing into, you'll notice they don't have a 3-year plan because they're not going to be there in 3 years. Their goal is to be there for 18 months, maximize their profits as quickly as possible, and then check out. Most businesses that have smart CEOs, and it's hard for us to be kind of in the marketing agency end because we don't sometimes control the CEOs, but we do give them the right tools to say, here's the gray area that you're living in, here's where you kind of move past the line of ethics. There's certain things that are definitely legal, but they're not ethical, and we just have to point out that line, and how they behave is how you should watch if they are in that period. Particularly heavily invested brands will have some kind of board or executive suite, and depending on if they have a 5-year plan or a 3-year plan, that will tell you how far they've thought this idea. Most investors think about a way out before they put their money in.
Okay, I would like to all of you to just remember one incident. I hope you remember Ronaldo. What he did was he just removed the cola bottles and replaced it with the Bisleri bottles. So what happened next day? The stock prices of Coca-Cola came crashing. Yes, let me tell you, that was not the only reason that the prices came dropping, and that was not his intent. But what I'm trying to put over here is, as a celebrity, as an influencer, as a position, as a person in a position where you can influence people, you need to act responsibly. Because every action, every reaction, every word that you say has its impact on the global audience. So I agree with the fact that if a celebrity, if an influential person is tweeting about certain stocks and that causes certain significant changes about it, then it is an unethical manipulation. Because remember the Spider-Man dialogue, with great power comes great responsibility. So you are in that position wherein you have to act responsibly. You cannot just tweet something and the layman, he's just simply following you. He will do whatever you tell him to do. Maybe your intent was not that, but then people don't understand that. People blindly follow you. And that's the reason why brands have celebrities coming in and endorsing their products. Because they expect people to follow them to buy the products. The same applies for the marketplace as well. When a celebrity tweets something, it causes a lot of uncertainties in the market. And yes, Harshal, I would like to take the name, the celebrity that you were talking about. Everybody here is aware about Elon Musk. So yes, he has got into troubles with respect to the speculations that he has created in the marketplace. So what I feel is, as a celebrity, act responsibly, because whatever you say or do has its implications on the rest of the world.
Hello. Okay. So this is a hard question because I feel like personally, I'm a recipient of the news of these stock things, but I'm not fully aware yet of the general impacts of stocks. But from a far off perspective, number one, I think it is a form of manipulation. Number two, it goes back to the first point I was sharing earlier. What was the intent? What was the tweet? Was it done in good intention? Was the tweet based on facts? Was the tweet true? And if it's true and it affects the stock market, I think the stock market reacts to what's happening to the world today, then now we're creating new realities, which what I go back to, like in everything we do, it's a cause and effect thing. So whether it is ethical or not, it depends on what the person said, what contracts they're breaking. It also depends on like legally unethical, or is it really a societal sense of responsibility kind? Is it selfishness that drove them to tweet that? Or is it just merely, FOMO and having fun, and I don't realize the power that I hold. And so yes, it is manipulation. Whether it is ethical or not, I think we need more context on like which specific examples are we assessing. So yeah.
Let me just ask one public question, and then I'll ask you the question. So, what is the one thing that you feel due to which the reputation of marketer is always at stake? Maybe just quick answers. One thing due to which the reputation of marketers are going down. Spamming is one of the thing, right? Network marketing is also one of the darkest side of it. So my question to you is, a few years ago, I noticed, random people posting and tagging me on my Facebook page without my consent. Okay, and then I was really surprised due to that because they were asking bonus and commissions from my side by giving my references to the other people. So in network marketing, there is this dark side out there. There are paid commissions, bonuses, discounts, dividends, and other forms of consideration in return actually. So my question to you is network marketing really an ethical business?
From my perspective, network marketing really depends on the application. There's the affiliate side where you have the bonuses and commissions and kickbacks and everything. Those are a really fine line because if you both offer value, then you have to just ethically be transparent about the partnership. But there's the other side of network marketing, like everybody that's doing right here, where they're trying to get to know everybody and potentially gain business. I think that's a different type of network marketing. It is naturally a human element to connect and form bonds and help each other out in things that we notice because I know you, I don't know the other person that I might give a certain business to. And that is a different element, and I think wherever you go, there's always going to be that, oh, that person got the business because we got a token bid or because they're a friend of a friend. And those are the darker sides because you don't get the opportunity. But on the affiliate side is where things get really, really gray. And without the lack of transparency, your consumer or your client then has to deal with all the repercussions. It's why we talk about third-party data being kind of phased away, and first-party data is where you're really going to have. Making sure you have a sustainable marketing practice and your client agrees to those practices are key pillars of what I think is marketing agency success. If you're not aligned to how they're going to acquire certain data or grow their business, then they're not a good client for you. They are going to continue to do that and potentially hurt your reputation in the end and mark you as spammers and mark you as those in those fake actor environments. So you have to do the due diligence, and I do a lot of research around like where are they coming from? Why are they coming to my agency today? What changed in the marketplace that invoked that response to come to an agency that changes people's minds?
Okay, network marketing is all about people. It's totally dependent on the quality of the people, and it's about people and relations. What you do, individuals utilize their personal contacts, build more contacts in that, and sell the product or service. So network marketing usually works on tiers of salespeople. You have a certain tier, and these tier of salespeople are asked to encourage to appoint other salespeople. So you have a pyramid-like scheme, but it's not actually a pyramid scheme. In here, you're actually selling products or services and gaining sales on that. But the point they make over here is that the top and the middle tier salespeople get leverage, get advantage of the commission that the lower salespeople is making. But my question here is, any business, any job does not have the same pay scale or the pay package. So if you're working in a business, a chairperson's salary is obviously not the same as a salesperson. So why target network marketing? And the other way talking about is, it's all about people spamming you, talking about their products. That same thing happens with marketers as well. As Harshal put it, most of the times, marketers do that. They spam random emails with their unwanted, undesired product information. But here in network marketing, you actually connect with the audience first and then you offer the product or services. And what happens is just because of a handful of people who actually are not following entrepreneurial ethics, you cannot make the entire networking marketing in itself as unethical. That can happen in any business, any job. You will have those handful employees who will make their job look bad. But that does not mean that the whole business in itself is unethical. You have some big brands like Amway, Oriflame, Avon that are part of a network marketing model. So what my opinion over here is that yes, it's ethical, but yes, it may be comprised of certain individuals that follow unethical practices. But that's the thing that's happening everywhere. You cannot control that.
I would like to add my ideas to comments of previous speakers. First of all, network marketing and network business was created many years ago in medieval era, several centuries ago, and it was the most ethical business because people sold their goods and their services to their relatives, to their friends. It was based on human-to-human communication. That is why people had to be very ethical. But as our art colleague has already said, people do the only thing. People do what you tell them to do. And if your friends tell you, buy this, it is very cool, it's good application, it's good service, it's good food, it is great, you will do it. Because it's your friend, he will never lie to you. But maybe, the reality is that somebody has lied to your friend before. When next time you will assume that network business is not ethical, please pay attention. Maybe the business is ethical, but there is one very unethical dude in this business. Business is not problem. Sometimes people are problem. So,
I think maybe a question we should be asking is, what practices make network marketing seem unethical when it isn't unethical? And maybe those are the things that, as us as marketers could really define to also protect our consumers, to understand that, hey, is this network marketing I'm experiencing safe? Is this network marketing fair? I think that's one of the things that we could also in the future maybe have a more extensive discussion on, like the bad practices, the deception that's very rampant. What are the trends that people should watch out for? What are the messages that are being said now that we should easily spot, and help our consumers see that, hey, open your eyes, this isn't safe anymore. So yeah, I think that's my
Absolutely.
take.
So I think in a conclusion, there are three key takeaways. The first one is the relevance, second one is the omnipresence, and third one is the intimacy. So, being a ethical marketer, I think we should not sell anything. Rather, we should give a collateral value, be relevant, and we need to give them what they really need. Omnipresence means we need to become top on their mind because they won't figure it out overnight. And of course, intimacy. We need to build their trust, be real with them, be human with them, as you mentioned, and continue to help them with a value. Now, we will just have a quick question and answer, and then maybe Ima will take it on.
Do we have any questions from the audience?
ethical questions, very ethical.
So I think this week, in the last few days, we saw one of the biggest ethical and moral PR marketing fails in the entertainment industry. Does anybody know what it was? The premiere of Avatar 2, The Way of Water in Japan. Context, James Cameron is a vegan. He's been vegan for 10 years. The Avatar movies are about protecting the environment, the planet, species. In the first movie, the mineral they were after was called unobtainium, for great reason. The latest movie, Way of Water, is about protecting the oceans, saving the species. Where did they hold the premiere movie showing, the launch of it? At a dolphinarium with performing dolphins. Is that not completely against everything he stands for, the movies stand for? They had a golden opportunity to send a brilliant ethical and moral message, and it failed and ended up in international condemnation instead. So that's, Puja, exactly what you've been saying, a massive, massive fail. Now, as you guys, as marketers, how would you then clean up from that? What do you do? Is it recoverable from that?
Actually, I haven't seen this news, but if I was James Cameron, I will tell people very ethical story, because there is one unknown fact. Why are these dolphins in this dolphinarium? Maybe many years ago, all these dolphins were baby dolphins who were sick, who were ill. I don't know the reality, but I suppose that these dolphins had found their way in this dolphinarium for some reason. Maybe it is their shelter, maybe it's their heaven, maybe these people saved them before. I don't know the story, but in my reality, will be a good ending for the story.
I'm actually surprised the PR team let that go through.
Me too. I'm surprised he didn't, when he saw the venue, went, I'm not doing it. What was going through his, but this is the point, as someone that works in the entertainment industry, and I see it day in, day out, this is where money, ethics and morals go out the window when money becomes involved. And it happens every time.
I think the trick, and I've done a couple of PR crises, usually long after the crises has occurred and they realize the brand damage they've caused. But the trick there is kind of doing a cost analysis of post. I routinely do of like, if your brand goes downhill because of this critical issue, this is how much it's gonna cost you to fix it. And by the way, this is how much time it's gonna cost you to fix it. I try to always make sure it hurts the investors, because those are usually the people that are making the decisions. And then they tend to reroute usually. In that case where you probably come in and they just hire a crisis management team, you basically have to buy your way back into the good graces of either donating or doing something to make up for it, and then really work diligently with making sure you're holding a very authentic brand. I will say James Cameron has kind of a habit of doing that kind of thing, though.
Plus it's Disney, they'll go, we'll just make another Marvel movie, it's fine.
Exactly.
In some cases, controversy might attract more tickets to him. If the controversy is involved, I think business will be more in some cases, not in this particular case.
Yeah. It's a tricky one though, isn't it? But it's just, it still happens every day. So, as marketers, there's so many boxes to check, and it's been a fantastic and interesting discussion, and I thank you all. It's been amazing. Thank you so much, guys. Really good discussion. Really good discussion. I like that a lot. Did you want a group photo? Where's my photo? Can I get a nice group photo of you guys on the front of stage? We've got we're panel after panel after panel today. It's fantastic. We've got some great topics. That was a really good one. I enjoyed that. Thanks, ladies and gents. Thank you so much. That was amazing.